I'm the Irish guy, and can you feel that? It almost feels like a mini earthquake. I mean, this moment, this feels big. I mean, this is exactly how I felt when Manchester City bought Sergio Aguero in 2011. I mean, I just knew. How could you not know? This was a world-class superstar who, while Atletico Madrid, had been spoken about for years. Honestly, I remember being a child, reading X-Men comics and choking on my granny's breast milk. What? It goes nice with Cocoa Pops, alright? Don't judge. But I remember even back in 2006, back in the days of Prison Break, Leona Lewis and Drake and Josh, and we still had this guy being force-fed down our throats, and Alexander Isak is the exact same. Now bear in mind, when I say that he's going to ruin the Premier League, yeah, he's going to ruin it by ripping defences apart with his bare teeth. He is going to be unbelievable. He is going to ruin careers. Lads, Alexander Isak is the next Premier League superstar. I mean, Newcastle, we were all expecting their Robinho signing, right? Just one blatant, overbloated mercenary here for the payday, right? I mean, I was convinced that would be Eden Hazard. A big name on big wages, sell a bunch of shirts, yes. And then by November, he'll have just given up on his work race and will probably be found skipping training to just eat KFC on the quayside, right? Honestly, I was expecting Hazard to join Newcastle, but that would have been the club jumping the shark. And speaking of which, this video is sponsored by Surfshark. Is there anyone out there that doesn't know what this is? I'm sorry, have you been surfing the internet whilst being blind in both eyes? It is the best VPN out there. They've got data protection services, meaning that your private messages, photos, videos, and everything else is protected. I mean, because God forbid someone would find out about all those photos of dead cats on your phone, you creepy boy. But one of the best things about Surfshark is that you can change your location on your device, meaning that, yeah, you can watch US Netflix or Match of the Day while sitting on a beach in Guam. Surfshark is available on every device you can think of, and it has a great alert feature which will notify you when your personal information is being leaked online. And finally, Surfshark are giving you 83% off and 3 months free when you use the code irishguy10. Yes, 3 months all for free. Link in the description. Back into the video. But no, Newcastle don't have time for big mercenary names. I mean, do you know how easy it would have been to just go out there and get Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Philippe Coutinho, or Gini Wijnaldum last winter? I mean, Wijnaldum's even lived in the city before, but they're signing positive, young, hungry footballers. I mean, lads, Isak, he could be Newcastle's main guy up front for the next 10 years. I mean, sure, right now, Callum Wilson's probably reacting to this news, and yeah, it's probably kicked a hole in the bath. Don't you tell me he's happy. There is no way he is happy with this news. I mean, no way. I mean, do you think Emmanuel Adebayor was happy when Man City signed Sergio Aguero? No, yeah, probably threw a tantrum in his kitchen and probably threw a tin of soup at the wall. But Isak is the natural upgrade, and trust me, Eddie Howe is going to turn this man into a superstar. I mean, he'll give him consistency. He will be a pressing monster, and lads, the goals will come. And you know, I'm gonna say this, by the time this man is 25, he will have a Premier League Golden Boot. A Newcastle player hasn't won the Golden Boot since 1997, so these are big words. But trust me, he's going to be incredible. This guy is going to be everything Anthony Martial was supposed to be. He is going to be class. I mean, when you think of the best Newcastle striker since Shearer, everyone always points to Demba Ba. But what often gets forgotten is Obafemi Martin scored more goals in his debut season than Ba. I mean, his first ever season in English football, and he netted 17 goals. People forget that. I think this season Isak will match that. It'll be a Martins-esque debut season. Except instead of wilting like a dead daffodil, he will just kick on and be a monster. Everything Owen Martins was supposed to be. Instead of, you know, spending his late 20s rotting like an egg milkshake on Birmingham City's bench. I mean, this is a dream move for Isak. He was on £48,000 a week at Real Sociedad. And that was with his new contract signed this year. Last year, he was on 19k a week. But now he's probably earning what? $500,000 a month? But, yeah, people have been impatient with Isak this year, right?
Alexander Isak's overrated, especially at the demanded amount by his team. He's not worth that amount. Alexander Isak is getting overrated. 59 million for such an overrated player like Alexander Isak. Time to watch Alexander Isak. Feels like he has been overrated. Alexander Isak, overrated. Stop mentioning Alexander Isak, please. Rashford is a lot better than him. He is overrated.
Listen, I get it, okay? We listened to the world gush about Aguero for 5 years before he eventually joined the Premier League. And I think everyone was sick of the hype. But my point is that Aguero was linked with Europe's elite clubs year after year, after year, after year, after year, and the big move never happened. So by 2011, yeah, honestly, I was a bit bored of the fuss. Lads, FIFA 07 was released, and he had a potential rating of 93, and that game was nearly 20 years ago. That is a lot of hype. I was expecting the next Maradona. I mean, back then, The guy had more hype than Lionel Messi. I mean, what? And so 5 years later, everybody was bored. I mean, remember that James Bond film that kept being delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed? By the time it came out, I'd have honestly rather shove sausages on my nose and go to watch that thing. And so the hype had deflated a bit. I mean, come on, 6 months before his move to Etihad, it looked like he was going to join Tottenham. I mean, on paper, forcing a generational talent to eat cheese sandwiches on a bus with Jermaine Genius and placing his career in the hands of a former Portsmouth coach. Oh, sounds like an insult, right? But when you think about it, Gareth Bale, Luka Modric, Rafa van der Vaart, and Sergio Aguero? Oh man, that could have been something. But then again, Peter Crouch would have looked a bit out of place. You know, a bit like if you invited Stephen Merchant to a Jennifer Lopez birthday party. It just wouldn't look right. But yeah. Remember these quotes from Aguero in 2006?
I have been a Liverpool fan for as long as I can remember, and it'll be a dream to play there. I watched the Champions League final and celebrated every goal as if it was for Independiente.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Liverpool fans. You probably didn't know this, but yeah, he said these words in 2006. It's probably like finding out 15 years later that that girl you liked in school, yeah, she liked you back, even though you had a face covered in chicken pox and had spent your entire teenage years begging for a kiss off your mum. But I mean, just for a minute, if Roy Hodgson had walked into the Anfield job to a strike force of Fernando Torres and Sergio Aguero, but I give you the keys of a Porsche to Frodo Baggins. I mean, what is the point when you can't even see above the steering wheel? But honestly, the world was bored of Aguero in 2011. I mean, look, here was a thread on the website Arsenal Mania titled Overrated Players, and yeah, here we have an entry on April 3rd, 2011.
Aguero, it looked like he would become a beast of a striker a couple of years back, but he seemed to stagnate at Atletico.
But yeah, people get sick of being told summer after summer that this player is the next big thing. Well, go and prove it then. Aguero's last 2 seasons in Spain were just finishing 9th and 7th and failing to get out of a Champions League group behind Aris from Greece. I don't blame the world for getting bored when the world's next great hope was still playing against Fulham in Europe. And similarly, Isak has been around forever. This was a Swedish wonder kid in 2016. He was 15 years of age and had Leicester City inviting him to train with the squad. I'm sorry, but a Swedish child being offered the chance to link up with the Premier League champions. Well, after Euro 2016, I would imagine Jamie Vardy probably just spent late July eating donuts and drinking rum. So yeah, if Isak ever made the trip over, yeah, there's probably a nice selfie of him with his mum outside the stadium, but with a decrepit Vardy in the background, with yellow vomit down his chin, and looking a bit like if Gollum came from Stoke. And Sunderland were scouting Isak in the winter of 2016. But lads, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Inter Milan, and Real Madrid were all watching him too. I mean, can you imagine how scary that must have been for some skinny lad in Stockholm? I'm sorry, but the pressure. Waking up in the morning as a teenager is bad enough when you've got acne on your ears and hormones running so wild that suddenly you're now getting aroused by the radiator. I mean, it must have been tough juggling homework and having to perform in front of Europe's elite scouts. I wouldn't have blamed the kid for just vomiting on the pitch. But finally he has his big move. I mean, this guy who rejected Real Madrid at just 17. Ozzy, that same summer they sold Alvaro Morata to Chelsea. They were prepared to take him from AIK in Sweden, and he said no. He moved to Borussia Dortmund. I mean, the obvious, sensible choice for young talent, right? I mean, lads, both Jude Bellingham and Erling Haaland rejected a massive club in Manchester United, but I mean, I think they both made the right choice. But lads, this is why he wouldn't go to Chelsea this summer, because Thomas Tuchel never played it. Just like this summer, he was far too busy with kissing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's ego to the point where he full-on admitted that Isak was signed behind his back.
I didn't know the player before, but it's also not my job to know every 17-year-old.
I mean, I'd be worried if you did. Sounds very Prince Andrew. No need for the glib, curt response, Tommy. I mean, nobody was accusing you of trawling through your daughter's Facebook friend list, alright? I don't think anybody was accusing you of hanging outside teenage discos, armed with nothing but flowers and wine. But Isak, he's had attention for years, and I can tell you're all getting sick of this. I mean, he was even going viral for scoring a hat-trick of penalties for Willem II. I mean, who cares? Isak has been called the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic for years. But I'm sorry, what a lazy comparison. Isak is nothing like Zlatan. Or why? Is it just because they're both Swedish and tall? Okay, that's like saying that PewDiePie is the next Avicii or Pennywise the Clown. Just no, what? Isak has far more movement than Zlatan. I mean, this player is bizarre. He's been described as a futuristic unicorn because, lads, most 6'4" strikers are ungainly lumps. I mean, to look at him. Oh, he's got Burnley written all over his face. I mean, no wonder Stoke were interested in 2016. I mean, lads, he's only 3 inches smaller than Peter Crouch. I mean, you would think that a relative hobbit like Alexander Martinez will probably be reading about this transfer. And yeah, he's probably going to spend this evening nervously puking into a bowl. But, lads, Isak is all feet. I mean, lads, here's a shocking stat. He has scored 6 headers in his life, and not a single one in 18 months. Lads, he's nearly 7 foot tall. He's as tall as Snoop Dogg, Aquaman, and Jurgen Klopp. How could you be a centre forward taller than Andy Murray and Will Ferrell and have just 6 headers to your name? I mean, it doesn't make physical sense. It's like finding out that Arnold Schwarzenegger is unable to lift the dinner table without help from his wife. It's like finding out that Jonah Hill doesn't eat dessert. It just... What? So anyone who thinks this man will be a demon in the air, no, weirdly, he'll be about as big a threat from corner kicks as a neutered cat. Honestly, lads, I'm gonna say this. For every header that Isak scores this season, I will drink 7 pints of water. I mean, I'll be pissing all day. The man's technical ability is off the charts. I mean, he's got left foot, right foot, pace. And he's a centre forward, yes, but he can also play off the left or the right. I mean, no, he's the Swedish Thierry Henry. I mean, you would think someone so lanky would not have much of a relationship with his feet, right? I mean, lads, every time he has to tie his shoelaces, I mean, trying to get all the way down there, for us mere mortals, it's probably like trying to jump off a balcony. But weirdly, he's got ability for days. Now, there is the element in the room. 6 league goals last season. That's not great, no, but it's fine. It was an off year. He's only 22. It doesn't mean he's suddenly a big pile of snowman poo. I mean, the previous year, he had 17 goals in La Liga. I mean, weirdly, he didn't score in any of his 10 Europa League matches. I mean, if he had, he could have, made that total look a bit more impressive. I mean, lad, the Europa League can massively bump up somebody's stats. I mean, we all remember Fernando Torres being unable to hit a barn door at Chelsea, right? But don't forget, because they were in the Europa League in 2012, he actually ended that season with 22 goals. I mean, to be fair, he did play nearly 70 games, but still, he was officially a 20 goal a season striker at Chelsea. We just all forget it. Honestly, Torres got 22 goals in a season for Chelsea. Everyone just forgets that. But yeah, Isak, if he just managed to get form in Europe, he could have ended that season with 25 goals. But Newcastle are lucky that he did underwhelm last season, because otherwise, this guy would probably be getting a summer move to Arsenal. So trust me, lads, honestly, Alexander Isak, he's going to be Alexander the Great. This man is the next Premier League superstar. Give it 2 years and Liverpool are going to be sniffing around him. Just like when they raided St. James's Park for Andy Carroll. Honestly, Isak is the real deal. And yeah, the next Scandinavian superstar. Anyways, well, what do you think? Let me know. How do you think Alexander Isak's going to do in Newcastle? Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.